Welcome to Work in Progress, Conversations with Creators. I'm your host, Logan Royce-Beitman. Very pleased to have with me in studio today, Tinovimbanashe Sibanda, who's a great choreographer from London, who just choreographed for the Santa Fe Opera, Walkure, a great Wagner opera, and very unusual things she's done with that. We had a wonderful conversation. I hope that you enjoy.
If you enjoy our podcast, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us bring you more content like this. You can find this episode and all of our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. See the show notes for a discount code on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading news.
Hey, Tino, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to see you. And, I just saw, is it Walkure?
Yes. Although I just say the Valkyrie.
The Valkyrie, which is, part of the Ring Cycle, the Wagner opera. And anyway, you did an incredible job.
Thank you.
And how did you get involved with that?
Okay, so I'm choreographer for the production, but I'm also still in Santa Fe as a super as well in it. And our director, Melly Still, is a British director, choreographer, multifaceted human, just in general, who actually worked at Regent's Park, which is a venue in London that I did my first job in, and actually did the same job 2 other times. And I basically went to the press night of one of her productions, got to know her, had a coffee. She told me about the project, and we were like, well, we vibe as humans. Let's make work together.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So quite an easy way, actually, but my favorite kind of way, the most human way for me personally, which is my way of making art in general. Yeah.
How do you normally, do you normally have to, I don't know, do choreographers get auditioned, or I don't even know?
You get interviews, I suppose. Yeah. And I guess it tends to be you make connections, and then you get to know people, and then people recommend you. I work or started as a performer, so a lot of my sort of relationships have stemmed from that. Yeah. I've performed in something, and then down the line people go, oh, we need a creative. Tino creates, and then we sort of end up creating relationships that way.
Yeah.
So you do have interviews for sure, but I think there's also a lot of who you know, getting to know people, networking, that kind of vibe.
So, let's talk a little bit about the opera, because it's an unusual kind of staging of it. And I think what you've done, so there's these characters, they're called the Norns, I think, that are sort of the weavers of fate. And they're in this sort of structure that to me looks kind of like a border wall or something, but with these
bungees.
The bars are bungee cords that they can actually play like a harp or something. And they come, anyway. And you choreographed there's other characters, but just to talk about that, because they're not traditionally even in this opera, I think, but that's something that was a sort of innovation to put them in.
Yes.
And then, talk a little bit about them, because it's an interesting thing. And I guess you're calling them the supernumeraries or sort of extras, but they're really dancers, or are they trained dancers, or?
We actually have a big mix of backgrounds. So a lot of people, I guess, are traditionally supers and have worked for the opera for 4 years, and then we have a couple of people that are trained dancers as well. But Melly, I think generally speaking, Norns and Fates are mentioned across the whole story. Yeah. And Melly was like, well, they're mentioned, so we're going to hold them, which I'm quite passionate about, because I love your ensemble. That's been majority of my career as a performer. And I think we tend to hold and push the story forward in ways that maybe is not always recognized or celebrated. Right. So Melly was very passionate that there had to be this presence that was always there and sort of shifting the story forward or observing or witnessing, which I also think is such a powerful story telling tool. Also you remind the audience that they are witnessing and watching something. I spent a lot of time with the supers, aka Norns, and in an interesting way, in the sense that because I was in it as well, I got to do a lot of doing as opposed to telling to do, I suppose.
Yeah. And you communicated by showing.
Yeah, by showing, and also being that first maybe point of contact in terms of responding to Melly's prompts and provocations and stuff like that. which I think is also very useful in the way that maybe the opera world works, with your supers versus your singers, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I felt like there were moments that, I don't want to say they stole the show, but it's kind of like, I liked that she and you, kind of brought the background into the foreground, and these characters who are silent, but it's kind of like, the characters are not necessarily in control of their own destinies, or there's that's a big theme, I think, in the opera, is like, wanting to have free will, and and so these other characters, it's kind of like to make them really present, that it just shows that there's these other things that
play a part.
Yeah.
In where the story goes, and I agree. And also, what better way to move furniture than with storytellers? We could have easily just walked on and shifted stuff around, but I think there's also something special about finding a way to continue the storytelling even when we're transitioning and stuff like that, which is very useful to use fates and norns for.
And there's a lot of ropes.
There's a lot of ropes. There's a lot of bungees.
Talk about the bungees.
Oh
and the
my
rope.
goodness, those bungees, let me tell you. What is the hardest thing? I mean, I should say that the sort of preparation that goes behind stuff like this has blown my mind. I come from mostly musical theatre world, which does have lots of prep, but this has been for me anyway, 2 years in the making. We've been prepping for this. What no one prepared me for was not knowing how those bungees were going to work until tech sessions. So
wait, what do you mean?
So we had them in the rehearsal room, but the sort of structure didn't necessarily match the stage.
Right.
So
the stage is bigger.
The stage is bigger, and then where we kind of connected the bungees to was a lot higher up. So there was a lot of problem solving in those tech sessions, which couldn't have been done without, again, so many skilled stage management teams. Our fight director was so involved in helping sort out stuff like that and all the technical stuff. So those bungees, I love them and I hate them.
Had you had much experience working with bungees or ropes?
Never. Have I? No.
The other thing with the Santa Fe Opera House, it doesn't have a fly space where you can put, and so you can't have people actually suspended in that way. And so that was that would have required some innovation, I guess, on the part of you and the director. Definitely.
But it was a big part, again, the sort of bungees and the thread and the connection and the tethered feeling was such a big part of the storytelling. So, we kept on with it. We never gave up on the bungees. And I'm really happy, actually, with what we achieved with them.
Yeah.
And they're a great workout. I'm stronger than I was when I arrived.
Right. They're like that. What are those things that those big rubber bands that people use to, anyway?
Therabands? What are they called?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's what they're called. Yeah.
Maybe therabands.
So I definitely feel strong. And in rehearsals, my goodness, we were aching. It was so our bodies were definitely engaged.
Yeah. What was it like to choreograph and also perform? And have you done that a lot?
Have I done that a lot? Is this a first?
Was it the first?
Is it a first of choreographing something I'm performing in? Yes.
Usually it's one or the other.
I think, it's something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about holding my performer sort of title, and I'm passionate about choreographing. Yeah. And I'm very passionate about not being told I have to leave one to do another. So there was something about it that was also very encouraging, very affirming to be able to do both. But it was hard, is the truth. It's because I couldn't see a lot and I had to rely on videos. But again, fortunately, our director, Melly, comes from a movement background. So she was always the eyes and always had ideas as well that I was then able to explore further and then go, this feels nicer. And again, we have an amazing assistant director that was eyes on the outside. And it was hard for sure. Would I do it again? That is the question. It depends on the scale of the production. I think if I was to do anything 4 hours long, I wouldn't do both, for sure. But
it sounds like you and Melly had a great working relationship. And I mean, it sounds like you said, when you first met, you just sort of vibed. But still, you go on vibes, and then when it gets to actually working, it may not, be. But it seems what was it like? That
humans first, and I think we approached everything from that. And even when we maybe did have like misunderstandings, we really like sat with it as humans, and we were like, let's like unpack this and figure out where we're not understanding each other.
Like what was a misunderstanding?
It was more like if I was on the inside and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Explain to me. I want to be involved as a creative. And she'd be like, yes, but I'm in the flow. And I'm like, yes, I know you're in the flow, but I want to be in the flow too. Bring me in. And we would just like sort of speak about stuff like that. So do you know what? Again, another beautiful experience in the sense that I learned a lot about what it looks like to be a creative with another creative and to collaborate and to disagree, but then find your way back to each other again in like the most healthy and beautiful way. So for me, again, I want my work to be what I do as a human.
Yeah.
And for me, then there's nothing different there. So genuinely, like, even if there was ever any like hard days, nothing that is like heavy on my body, it always felt like we were going, no, that didn't make sense. So how do we make it make sense? What's your truth? What's my truth? Which I say that like there was many of those. There really was like
no,
probably one, but
that's how you learn. You know that you do have a great working relationship. Have there been other productions when you haven't had that?
Sips water. Has a sip of water.
Maybe you don't want to talk about it.
There has been. That's the truth. I think we have to be truthful. There definitely has been.
You don't have to name the person, but maybe say what happened.
Do you know what? I have a lot of trouble with being a black woman and people not necessarily knowing what it is that I do, but wanting to have me involved and then not allowing me to do what I do and expecting me to be grateful to be there.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple of those experiences where, again, I don't think people do it with like malicious intent. I don't think they wake up in the morning and decide that's what they're going to do. I think it's probably like so ingrained and quite deep down that they don't even realize it's there. So I have had my fair share of difficult experiences as a creative.
That can be so difficult. You know, my ex was black. We were together for 7 years. She was from Jamaica. And she ended up getting into the Yale School of Art. And she had such a difficult experience there because she felt like everyone wanted, it was all, you know, these sort of like privileged white people, you know, and that they all wanted to look really progressive and they wanted to like be seen with her and stuff. But then when it came like to, she's in class with them, they would kind of ignore her ideas or they would assume that she like, almost like that she thought they felt that she was stupid or something. And it was and it was like, oh, like she was encountering this form of racism that she hadn't experienced growing up in the South Florida, which is the South, where it's like kind of in your face. But here it's sort of like, oh, they're supposed to be like, I thought they're my friends. Like, it's like so difficult, right?
I hear that, yeah.
That sounds like kind of similar to the sort of thing you're describing.
Definitely. I guess, and just having to prove that you have a skill set and you're good at what you do, can sometimes show up. And that's been some of those negative experiences anyway.
Yeah. Like, how do you recover from that? Like, does it hurt you? Does it hurt you personally? Because I feel like I would feel like sort of betrayed or feel like...
oh my gosh, definitely. Like, alongside your own insecurities that you probably just have as a human, as in myself, it can definitely be exhausting. And I would say that is where my love and like hate is in what I've chosen to do. Like, I've fallen in love with something that isn't as progressive as it claims to be. The arts is supposed to be, well, I picked it because I assumed it would be the safest place probably. So definitely, but I have a lot of amazing people and creatives in my life that affirm me. Yeah. And I'm also doing I'm consistently doing work to remind myself that if I do the work and I continue to pour into my skill set, I'm good at what I do.
Right.
And that can be a truth, and I don't have to carry what other people might project onto me. And it's like a thing that I have to do every day, every project. Like, it's something that I'm constantly renewing.
Yeah. No, that's good. And whoever's listening, that, if people are dealing with these kind of situations, it's probably inspiring to hear from someone that, I don't know, what do they say? Living well is the best revenge or something. Literally.
And also just operating from a place of kindness. Like, I just continue to assume the best of everybody, then I'm like a little pretty flower pot. that's constantly blooming. And then everyone else who's maybe, I don't know, projecting whatever it is they're projecting can deal with that in their own time.
Yeah.
And I've just found that makes me like want to continue.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you get into dance?
That's a good question. How did I get into dance? I couldn't concentrate in anything else. I grew up in church, so I was always surrounded by music and dance, actually, like Pentecostal church.
Oh, uh-huh.
I'm Southern African, so again, music, dance is a big part of everything. But it was kind of like in the church, mostly. And then I went to college, which is not the same as what you call it here.
It's more like high school?
Yeah, college is like 16 to 18 for us. And I initially went to go do like A-levels in English, language, English literature, film studies, media studies, with actually the lens of journalism. And then I was like, I can't concentrate. Like, I can't do this. It's a lot. So I waddled into the performing arts department and I was like, I could dance. And they auditioned me. They gave me a place. So I switched courses. And it was like a community college. So they weren't trying to make any of us like stars or anything. But I was like, oh, I kind of enjoy this. Ended up at a contemporary school on like a CAT scheme, like a Centre of Advanced Training. And then I had teachers that were like, oh, you're actually all right. You should go to London. You should go train. And then they helped me apply for like my university, got into my university. And then the rest has genuinely just been like following each new thing that I find exciting and like continuing. Yeah. Really.
So it's just sort of like one thing happens and just leads to,
Yeah.
But that initial thing of having teachers who saw something in you and encouraged you to go to London, that kind of changed your life.
Massively. And they're still in my life. I literally recently sang at one of my first drums teachers' weddings. Like, they're all still pretty active. They travel to come and see me and stuff.
Where was that?
That's in Leeds. So West Yorkshire is where I was raised. But very grateful for them.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. And what was the first like production you did out of school?
Jesus Christ, Superstar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. First job. Did it 2 other times after that.
So you started in the church.
Started in the church.
And then you found Jesus.
And then I found Jesus. Although I would argue it was probably not the pro church version of a production.
What was your version like?
It's really cool. Am I allowed to name people? I could, yeah. Choreographed by Drew McConey, who's like one of my favorite musical theatre choreographers ever. Directed by Timothy Sheeder, and musical directed by Tom Deering. I went on to do that production. So I graduated into that as an ensemble member, went back into it as a dance captain and ensemble member at the Barbican. And then we went back into it as ensemble, dance captain, and sort of helping to put it back up for COVID edition, which was also a wild thing. It was like one of the first productions to be put back up because it was at the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre. But yeah, it was just beautiful. It was made up of a company of individuals, which is, again, like informs a lot of how I love to create, or even what you see in terms of like our casting for the supers. We were so passionate about making sure that we had so many different people from different walks of life that move different, that look different, as opposed to like everyone looks the same.
You're talking about now in Santa Fe? Yeah,
now in Santa Fe, but like that first job informs a lot of how I see art, or I see dancers, or I see movement. Yeah.
We'll talk more about that. Why is that important?
I think our art has to look like our world.
Yeah.
Or for me anyway, like, what's the point? Like, if I can't come to the Santa Fe Opera and look on stage and see someone that looks like me, I just think then we're gatekeeping, or we're keeping it closed, and we only expect one type of person to be there. So I think it's really, really important, for the stage to reflect the world.
Did you, when did you start, learning about different choreographers and stuff?
Oh, when did I start learning about different choreographers?
Was that in Leeds, or it was after London? Or?
I would say probably, when I went to drama school, to dance school. It's probably when I was the most exposed.
And who excited you?
Oh, it's a good question. Who excited me? Oh, I feel like I grew up around a lot of I was like a YouTube baby for sure. So I was just constantly watching a lot of these choreographers, and actually not even like massive named ones, but just people creating in their homes with their friends, stuff like that. So definitely like a social media baby in that sense.
Yeah.
So I could mention like your Drew McConey's, or I could mention your Shelley Maxwell's, and all these like other icons. But for me, it's like the people that create at home for themselves or for their little network or their little pool of people that I think I was already like watching from quite a young age.
Do you think that that's changed? Like that YouTube has, I mean, it influenced you. I mean, do you feel like it has like a bigger impact? It's sort of changing the game in some way.
I think so. Like as much bad, what's the word? Rap. What's
Bad
the word?
rap? Bad rap, I think.
Rap.
Yeah. It's also a bad rap. Like you can have a bad reputation, but a bad rap. Things get a bad rap.
Let's just say bad.
I always mess up these little words.
Me
like,
too. Me too. As social media gets, I genuinely think it's just another way of making things accessible.
Yeah.
Like think about like lockdown. Like I don't know what I would have done. Like I was taking dance classes on Instagram live.
Yeah.
So I think it's also a powerful tool for like connecting people and making something accessible for people that might not go to the theatre, people that might not be able to afford to go to the theatre, people that don't even know. Because I think when I started, I didn't actually realise, one, it could be a job, or that I was allowed to be interested in those things. Like I just didn't know. But social media just sort of shows you all these things and all these other people doing stuff. And then you go, oh, I can do that.
Yeah. Speaking of accessibility, so opera is not always seen as the most accessible thing, especially one that's 4.5 hours, long. And I do think that here in Santa Fe, like it is a little different. People tailgate. I mean, they're kind of fancy tailgates with, champagne and things, but it's like there's that feeling. And then with it being open air and you feel the breeze and people do come out. I think kind of ordinary people, come to the opera here. But had you had much experience? I know you hadn't choreographed an opera, but had you like gone to operas, or was that part of your life?
I've seen 2 operas. Peter Grimes in Leeds.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Grimes lives rent free in my head. I watched it once, and I think I was probably like somewhere between 15 or 16. So the fact that it's still in my head is quite cool.
That's Benjamin Britten, right? Well, anyway, continue.
Continue. And then Regent's Park Open Air Theatre did Hansel and Gretel, I think, a couple of years ago. But apart from that, no. So I am genuinely one of those people that this opportunity has like opened me up to something that I actually didn't think was for me. Like,
but now you feel differently.
Yeah. I mean, also it's art. Like, is that something wild to say? Like, I definitely think like people are skilled. Like I call myself a dancer because I've dedicated time to it, and it's a skill set. But do I think everyone can dance? Yes. So I think it's art, end of the day. Whether I belong to musical theatre, whether I belong to plays, I think it's art. And if I have a movement world to contribute to it, that is it.
Yeah.
But did I think I could before? Probably not. Did I think I'd ever do one? Probably not.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because I didn't grow up going to operas or anything. And I've been to a few, but like, like the Santa Fe Opera, I guess, they found out I was writing. They were like, oh, why don't you come out? You can review. And so I committed myself to reviewing La Boheme. But then as it got closer, I review art. That's my thing, visual art. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I'm not an opera critic. Like, I can't tell if someone has a wobble in their voice or they're not, I don't, but then like I was talking to someone who was involved with the Santa Fe Opera and they're like, opera, it's like, it's you don't have to even focus on the voice. It's like, you understand visual art. There's a big visual component to the opera and you just talk about your experience, and anyway, and now I've been doing it for like all the operas. And it's great. So it's like a new thing for me that I'm like, oh, I can write about operas.
Yeah.
And they were excited, what I ended up writing was like much more accessible than most opera reviews, which are, kind of whatever gatekeepy and elitist maybe. And I was writing in a different way, just talking about my experience. And so I think it's in a way, maybe it's similar to you that it's sort of something that I thought, oh, this isn't really like my thing, but now it feels like, well, I guess it is.
Yeah. And like when I say not my thing, I definitely think I was viewing it from the lens of what I thought other people perceived me to be. But again, like my view is I'm an artist. I make art, whether I'm doing it in the way I arrange my furniture in my flat, or whether I'm doing it in the way that I plate up my beans on toast. Like I'm an artist. That's what I've committed my life to.
Do you have a particularly artistic way of arranging your beans on toast?
Well, no, I just plugged that from my head. Although I say that, I do love to I don't put the beans straight on the toast. I put them in their own little like dish, like what do you call it, ramekin? I feel like I'm really pulling words out of my head. That's a good word, isn't it? It sounds great as well. It's a great word, yeah. And like, yeah, I think I do. I think, and I guess as we were saying off the mic earlier, like I'm trying to like live my life as human and artist, because they're the same thing. I don't want to separate them anymore. And I want to take my rest as serious in my art making as my eating my food, as my dancing with my friends on a night out. Like I'm trying to make sure that the human and the artist are not different. Yeah. And that I honor every single like part of whatever that looks like. So yeah, I'm plating up my beans on toast. Although I feel like you lot don't respect beans on toast here.
It's not a thing we do normally.
You're missing out.
But yeah.
I recommend.
Yeah.
I'm going to try one thing.
I should try it.
Try beans on toast.
What about mushy peas? That's like a...
Do you know what? Mushy peas is good, but you have to have it with chips and fish. Like fish and chips. I don't know why I said chips and fish. That's the wrong way around. Fish and chips, everybody.
We do have fish and chips here.
You do?
Yeah.
All you need to put is the mushy peas on the side.
There you go. All right.
And then you're good.
How have you been enjoying Santa Fe? I heard you went whitewater rafting.
We didn't end up going.
Oh,
there was like a toxic alert thing.
Oh.
So we didn't end up going.
No.
We went to Albuquerque Reservoir.
Oh, uh-huh.
That was nice. We just sat. I didn't get in the water, to be fair. My colleagues, friends got in the water. I sat and watched them in the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did that instead, and we're hoping to reschedule it.
Mm-hmm.
But Santa Fe is beautiful. I think the stillness has been welcomed.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying that a lot. And just sort of like pottering around and like, eating in like lovely places. Yeah.
What do you like to eat? Or what have you enjoyed eating here?
What have I enjoyed eating here? Well, this is a plug. Tomasitas.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Yeah. Can't go wrong. And I've been really intentional as well about trying to eat like new Mexican cuisine.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can get everything else in the UK.
Yeah. People are really into green chili here.
Yes, which is great. Like I'm Southern African, so give me all the chili.
Right.
Which has been fantastic as well. So yeah, I could try more restaurants. I should try more restaurants before I go. How many days have I got? I've got like 10 days. I'm going to see how much I can eat in these 10 days before I go.
Sounds like a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you been to the Southwest before, or any sort of desert place?
Never.
No.
Never. This is a first. And do you know what? Like, I have to keep reminding myself that I came here for work.
Right.
Like, and I'm very lucky that the work I'm doing has only been 5 shows and I've had lots of time off. But also I've been here for work, so my body and my mind has been like in work mode.
Sure.
And I'm honestly speaking only just now at a point where I'm like, well, can I make a holiday out of this? And even then, like I'm still tired, and I also have commitments back in London that I'm starting to like get my head around.
Right.
So I think I should come back. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I should come back, but just as a holiday or vacation, as you say here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you do come back on holiday and you want a holiday from your holiday, you can come and talk to me again.
There we go.
And we'll have a nice...
a holiday from my holiday, which is basically work.
Right.
I like that. Do you want a holiday from your... I'm going to start using that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using that.
But thank you for being here today. And this is really wonderful speaking with you.
Thank you for having me.